Holy hole in a donut!
Hey YouTube, it's MIgardener, and today I'm going to be doing something different today. I'm going to show you how to make a really quick snack. Also, it makes great as a meal, and if you have kids, kids are going to love it. It's a little twist on a gyro, and if you don't know what a gyro is, it's a Greek food that they have made for a long time, and it's originally done with lamb. But today I'm going to be doing it with steak, because steak is usually a little bit cheaper, it's easily accessible, and you can get it in different grades and stuff too, so if you're tight on a budget, it's great. But what a gyro is originally it was done with lamb and a cucumber sauce with tomato and lettuce. And that's really just about it. And then there were some onions too, which is optional, but I prefer to use them. You don't have to. But I'm going to step through, I'm going to do a step-by-step on how to do the entire meal. And hopefully you'll enjoy it, hopefully you'll find it informative, and hopefully you'll try it, because I personally really love it. It's an addicting snack, and it's pretty healthy too, and you can get mostly everything from the garden, which is why I'm doing it, because a lot of people don't know how to use their stuff they grow. They know they grow it, and they know they have it, but they don't know how to make different varieties of food. They kind of just will eat it raw, or they'll put it in some chips and dip or something, and they'll put it as like an hors d'oeuvre. But you can actually make meals with it, substantial sized meals. And that's what I'm going to show you today, is that you don't have to panic when it comes to fresh produce. You can eat healthy and make a nice filling snack / meal for your kids, yourself, your family. Doesn't matter. And it all tastes great. So I'm going to post the ingredients in the link below as I go through how to make it. And you'll also see what I'm adding in the step-by-step video as well. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. I'm more than glad to answer them. I would love to do some more of these, so give me your input if you like it. Also, since I've been constantly being trolled, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video, just say thumbs up. It really helps me out. If you also don't like it, put a thumbs down. But this way it can kind of help monitor that trolling thing, because if you guys don't know, I've been trolled a lot by a specific person. Won't say the name, but I do know who. And so I'm just trying to stop that if at all possible, and hopefully over time it'll stop, but for now I have to disable ratings, because that's just the fact, is that it happens and you have to overcome diversity, and you just have to keep moving on. So give me a thumbs up if you like it. If not, just say, hey, I'd like to see just pure gardening videos. But I think it's really important to show people that there's things you can do with your produce, not just grow it, because there's kind of a multitude of things you could do with it. So today, I'm going to get started. I'm going to show you exactly how to make a twist on a Greek gyro. Stay tuned. Alright, so first you're going to start with your steak, or your choice of meat. I choose to use steak. You could also use chicken. It's not that big of a deal. And what you're going to want to do is this line of fat here. It gives the meat flavor, but for this meal we don't really want it. So we're just going to discard this. And that comes off fairly easy. Now, also note that I have washed my hands, and sanitation is key here. Now you're going to want to slice your steak no more than about a ½ inch thick, because otherwise it tends to get a little chewier, and depending on the grade, that matters quite a bit. And you're just going to cut it off in slices. All the while you're going to want to also monitor that there's not any gristle or stuff. There shouldn't be, but it's more of a smooth dish. It's not really a dish you want to be chewing on a lot. And also, there's going to be a variety of spices, but I will also tell you that I am aware that there are some people that are allergic to spices, so there are different differentiations of spices you can use, and you don't have to use the spices that I do. This is just to be an informative video that if you like it, you can try it. So I have all of the steak cut up, and now I'm going to show you the other stuff that you'll be needing for this dish. So in a pan, we've just added some extra virgin olive oil, and you're going to let that heat up there until you can smell it get hot. You'll know what I mean. It's kind of a hard term to define, but you'll tell. It smells hot, and it flows very, very easily. Then what you're going to want to do is, I've simply taken some onions here, and you're going to take the onions that have been diced, and you're just going to slide them right into the pan. And you're going to want to sear those for about 2 minutes before you add your meat. That'll just incorporate the flavor really nicely, and that way you won't have any chunks that are unseared, because seared onion always tastes the best. Alright, so the onions have been searing for about 2 minutes now. Now what you're going to want to add is some garlic salt, just your regular garlic salt, and you're just going to apply just a pinch, whichever amount you want. I personally use about 1/2 teaspoon. Then you're going to want to take some pepper, grind some pepper in there. I use just a couple turns on the twist shake, or on the twist pepper, but you're probably going to want maybe at least, I'd say, just a decent pinch. And then what I'm basically doing with the pan is I'm basically prepping it for the meat. Generally, you don't want to season the meat before you put it in the pan for this dish, because it tends to steal from the actual flavor of the meat, which is the majority of what's going to be flavoring the dish. And you can, if you would like to, you can marinate it in extra virgin olive oil before, but you don't have to. Now what I've done is I've just cut up the meat into about 1-inch slices, and then I simply will just add those to the pan. And just as a note, my heat is on high for now, but once the meat is evenly seared on both sides, you're going to want to decrease it to about a low to medium heat. And you should see a smoke coming off of that, because that's the searing of the meat. If you get a flame, that's way too hot. And as you can see, it's very nicely seared. And now I'm going to decrease it down to a medium heat, to a low heat. And we're just going to let that simmer. Now I'm going to show you how to prep the actual dish. Alright, so to make the rest of the dish, it's pretty self-explanatory, but since it's winter here, I don't have a fresh tomato, so I got a tomato from the store. And in theory, I would have this from the garden, but you're going to want to use about a little less than half a tomato. You won't need the whole tomato. You won't need 2/3 of the tomato. You just need about half the tomato. And you're going to just divide that into slices, and then you're going to take the slices and simply, but not so easily because it's not the tomato I would prefer, you're just going to divide these into slices. A meatier tomato would be better, such as aroma, but since I didn't have the option of what I was going to get at the store, I have to work with what I have. It'll still taste somewhat fine, it's just a little mushier than I would like. Then you're just going to take them and you're going to finely dice the tomatoes. You don't want big chunks, just medium chunks is fine. You're going to want to just take it, after you dice the lettuce, you're going to want to finely mince the lettuce just like you would with the tomato. It doesn't have to be as fine, just whichever size you'd like. I prefer it thinly minced. Now I'm going to show you how to make the cucumber sauce. So in a blender, you're going to want to put about 1/8 of a regular sized cucumber. Then you're going to put 2 heaping spoonfuls. I prefer 3, so I'm going to put 3, but the general amount is 2 if you want to get that nice cucumber flavor. I personally like just a mild cucumber flavor, so it's not big on my list to add. But if you do want more, you can add more. You're just going to puree that. Alright, so after about 20 pulses, you should have a it should be a thin consistency. It should easily run, and that's what your sauce is going to be made out of. Also, I might add that it's going to be slightly watered down, so if you need to add more sour cream to thicken it up, it can be done. It's not that big of a deal. And now I'm going to show you how to prep the dish. Okay, so now you have your choice of bread, preferably like a flatbread or some sort of panini bread would work best, but any bread will really work. And then what you do is, if you don't have it pre-cut, they come pre-cut, but these ones weren't. You simply take, I chose a pita bread, and you simply take your knife, and I inserted it in like I would fillet a fish, and I just simply cut all the way down. You have to make sure that your knife is completely level, otherwise you're going to poke through, as I did here, but that doesn't really affect the flavor, it just makes it kind of messier. And then you should end up with a pocket, and that's what you're going to stuff your meat in. Now you're going to take some of your meat, like that. Maybe I don't want that much. And you're going to simply stick that down there. And then you're going to use some of your lettuce. And then your tomato. Stick that all down there. It's going to be kind of like a stuffed pocket, but it's meant to be kind of messy, by the way, as well. So it's a fun snack to eat. Messy is fun. I like messy. Okay, so you have your pocket stuffed, and this is why it's key that you don't puncture it, because otherwise that'll rip here, and that's not always desirable. But then you take your cucumber sauce, and you simply stand the pocket up on end here, and you simply pour the cucumber sauce into the pocket. And this is great to eat with a knife or a fork if you're not messy, but I prefer to use my hands. And then once you clean up the plate there, you have a wonderful twist on a Greek gyro. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something, and as always, remember to grow big or go home. See you, YouTube. Bye.